Hello and welcome to Rock and Roll on Action, the show where we take a random year and we delve into one film and one album from that year.
I love the hand gestures you always do. Hello and welcome back. Like, you always do that. It's wonderful. Keep it up.
I'm JJ. I'm a filmmaker who loves music.
And I'm Sean. I'm a musician who loves films. I always get that wrong.
And today we're talking about the film. How you been?
Yeah, good. I've been very busy.
Yeah?
Working and stuff.
That's enough casual chat. I feel like podcasts need a bit of casual chat.
Yeah.
We never do that, but I don't care how
I was saying I did see Spider-Man, and we got some negative comments last week.
If you haven't seen our short where I slag off the new Spider-Man film, it's worth watching just for the comments. There are some brilliant ones.
Yeah, so I have seen it now, and I completely disagree with you. I don't think we should get into it that much, but you liked No Way Home.
I did like No Way Home.
And you were disappointed by it.
I like every Spider-Man film except Brand New Day.
I just thought it was so much better in every way. The script's much better.
Yeah.
The effects.
It just didn't make me care.
They got a new director, I think, for it, and I think that was a great decision.
You think the VFX are better?
Yeah.
There were a few moments where I really felt like I was watching a cartoon.
No Way Home. When was the last time you saw that?
Year and a half
ago.
All
three of those look terrible. The effects are horrible. Everything looks like it was shot on a green screen.
Well, I think, everything's got that kind of Marvel.
I didn't notice the green screenness as much in this one.
Yeah, I'm fine with saying that, the cinematography is better. It's got deeper shadows.
And the first scene with him sweeping through the city, it looks amazing.
Yeah, I'm not saying there's no good stuff in it. What I was talking about was in the context of what we were saying about Clash of the Titans, which was that we were saying in Clash of the Titans there were missed opportunities for character development and there were interesting emotional quandaries that could have been explored but weren't. And I was saying the new Spider-Man had a similar issue, that it's based around the set pieces and everything else is secondary. And I was just saying that the emotional stuff that they set up for the new Spider-Man was so interesting that it shouldn't have felt secondary.
I do agree, and I was always impatiently waiting for the next character scene rather than the action scenes, really. Yeah. But you have to bear in mind, this film is for kids. I'm sorry, guys, but this is a kids' film.
I mean, I'm not saying that I need it to be, high art. Clearly, I just think I'm maybe not the target demographic anymore because clearly this film works for everyone. And for me, it just really didn't for some reason.
But anyway, let's talk about something else.
Yeah, what is this podcast?
Don't remember. Oh yeah, we did 2016.
Yeah, we were devastated when we got this year because we were like, a modern year, gross.
Yeah.
But in actual fact, it's a good year, and I'm real excited to talk about this one.
Though I didn't want to talk about Arrival because I didn't
You
care.
chose it.
Oh yeah. I just thought it would work because, it's Denis and it's
Denis.
Sci-fi.
Yeah.
And you know what was really big this year?
Sci-fi?
Yeah.
Oh.
What was the big sci-fi film this year?
What, Dune 3?
No, that hasn't come out yet.
Oh, Spider-Man?
Project Hail Mary is what I wanted you to say.
Oh, I completely forgot that came out.
And I think there's a lot of similarities.
Okay, yeah.
When I saw Project Hail Mary, I was thinking, they're doing the thing again where they're translating an alien language, but they're just kind of skipping through it. Yeah,
they really don't focus on that in that film.
It's just like, we can understand him very quickly. Yeah. And it's a different tone for the film, obviously.
Definitely. No, I enjoyed Project Hail Mary, but I think that, as we'll discuss when we get properly into the film, Arrival is one of the best films of this century. And I wouldn't argue that hard against someone who thought that it was the best film of the century. I think it's definitely one of the most interesting concepts of a film since
I don't know. I think
Matrix.
Project Hail Mary did it better. And I'm being kind of serious.
Okay, all right. Well,
we'll get
all this and more coming up. Heads up if you're not familiar with the new format yet. We're going to be talking about our album of the week next week, which is going to be the Lemon Twigs Do Hollywood.
And it's a great album. You should listen to it.
It is. Yeah. It is. Wouldn't argue with someone who said it was the best album of this. Let's jump into the film. So Arrival is actually Denis Villeneuve's 8th feature film.
No.
Yeah.
I would have said 3rd. Yeah, what the hell was he doing before this? Didn't Blade Runner come out like the next year after? How did he do that?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Is it Enemy and Prisoners, same year. What? Sicario 2015, Arrival 2016, Blade Runner 2017.
Yeah.
Roger Corman once directed 50 films in a year.
That's insane.
That's one a week and then like a couple of weeks off for Christmas.
Yeah. I do think you can tell that this film, they should have spent a bit more time on it. No, it doesn't seem rushed.
It doesn't at all. I think Arrival is one of those few films that feels extremely considered.
Mm-hmm.
This is the episode for which I've done the least research, because I've watched this film pretty much every year since it came out. And I think that, you know, from Amy Adams' performance, which I think is maybe her best performance. I love her in Nocturnal Animals as well, which is the same year.
You know who I didn't remember being in this film? Forrest Whitaker. He's just doing the same old shit he always does. It's the most generic character ever.
Yeah, on this watch was the first time that I noticed that the script is a little scripty in places.
It feels like early Christopher Nolan, like the Dark Knight trilogy. It's got a lot of like bombastic lines, where it's like they're good lines that carry the story forward, but it just feels, it makes me self-aware that I'm watching a film.
Yeah, I've never really felt that before.
Yeah.
But I think this time maybe I was just sort of like trying to overanalyze it and was like, well, I can see the construction of them trying to explain this very complicated plot in a way that feels natural. And some of it is maybe a little like, well, I don't understand this very simple, obviously understandable concept. Explain it to me. And then she explains, you know. But saying that, it never feels like it's talking down to the audience. It expects you to be intelligent and to keep up with it. And you do, I think, you know, if you're engaged with it.
Obviously, they've put a lot of time into making sure it's as like concise as possible. There's not any wasted scenes or lines or anything. But to me, that's to its detriment. I think the film could be longer.
It flies by. It's an hour 56, and it feels like an hour and a half.
There's just not much character development or anything like that.
I just think it's got a singular focus on Amy Adams' Louise. I think that it is only interested in her story, and everything else falls to the wayside, and that doesn't feel like a bad thing, because from a plot point of view, it's quite a complex concept that you've got to get across. And so just having the one emotional anchor to the whole thing really works. I don't need to know Forrest Whitaker's motivations. I don't need to know Jeremy Renner's background.
It's almost it's like a myth or a parable or something. The characters are archetypes in a way. Or I don't even know if they're archetypes. They're just plot points.
They're there to serve the central story.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine. I don't need them to be more than that. They never feel distractingly underwritten or anything.
No.
And there's so much texture to the world, you know, like you've constantly got all of these news reports going on in the background that are just giving a vague idea of what's going on in the rest of the world, how everyone's reacting to the arrival of 12 alien spaceships. It's just this sort of background hum of, God, humans are terrible. You know, it's just everyone's just rioting and looting and fear. And, you know, we're just so petty.
Most of the film, it's more like, God, the Chinese are terrible. And I'm glad they change it up at the end. Like they're like, oh God, we probably should try and humanize the Chinese a bit. Let's have them have an important.
Well, but it's the Americans who set off a bomb. In fact, give us a quick plot overview.
No,
for the folks at home.
Basically, some aliens arrive. They're just in these big, like, black things in the sky. They land in, like, 12 different places around the world. And, you know, all the countries are scrambling to try and find out what's going on. Are they a threat? Are they going to kill us? What do they want? That's the main point of the film, is they're trying to work out what the purpose is of them coming here. And it's very difficult because they don't speak English very well or at all. They just every now and again make these like weird patterns, like circles in the air.
This is the worst plot overview ever. The whole concept of the film is based around language and love and what we're willing to sacrifice for love.
So they're trying to do it in a realistic way. Like, what would happen if aliens came?
Yeah.
How would we talk to them?
The big twist of the film, if you want, is that the film opens with Amy Adams as Louise. She gives birth to her daughter, and then her daughter dies of an incurable disease when she's a teenager. And
I'm already yawning, because that's like, you know, dead kid. It's just melodrama. That's what it is.
It's not, because it leads to
they change it up in an interesting way.
Yeah, because it leads to one of the most beautiful, life-affirming human endings in any film ever. All right, Amy Adams plays a linguist who's sent to translate these aliens and figure out what it is that they're saying and why they're here. And in doing so, she learns their language. And through the Sapir-Whorf theory, which states that your language changes the way that you perceive the world around you and existence itself, it rewires her brain because these aliens, their language has no sense of time. Everything is circular and they see all of time all at once. And through understanding their language, she comes to see time all at once. And we realize that what we thought was the beginning with her daughter is actually after the film. The film has a circular plot. It comes back round to the start. And at the end, when she can understand all of time and she can see all of her life all at once, it ends with her making the decision to still have her child, even though she knows the heartbreak and the pain that it's going to lead to. She knows that it's going to lead to her husband leaving her. It's going to lead to all of this terrible pain, and yet the love and joy that she will feel in the few years that she gets with her daughter is worth that pain. And that's what it's about. It's not about aliens arriving on Earth. It's about sacrificing. Yeah. It's about love being worth it, and it's beautiful. And I'm sorry, but it's like it's not a cliche. Your daughter's dead, and it's just a character motivation.
Like that, right? The ending is great. I will give you that. The ending is wonderful. The last 15 minutes make up for all the gloominess and dullness of the beginning of the film.
But it never feels gloomy or like it feels genuinely.
It doesn't feel gloomy.
Well, I mean, it's grey. It's too grey. Yeah, I know, and that's always an issue that I have with a lot of modern films is that they are too grey.
This is the worst one.
But this at least feels purposefully grey. I mean, no, I would make it more colourful, yes, but it feels like a decision that it's grey. It doesn't just feel like the last couple of Harry Potter films where it's just like everything's got a weird grey wash over it or whatever. It feels like that's a decision that has been made, and that's what I mean. Everything about this film feels so perfectly precise. You know, the music is incredible. Every single music cue is perfectly chosen, designed to within an inch of its life to pull out the emotional subtleties of every single element. I cannot pick a fault with this film, genuinely. And
there's not many faults. It's just not doing anything interesting.
That's just a big lie. That's such a massive lie. In a world full of uninteresting films, we have so many uninteresting films. We've done so much.
Name one.
We've done so much with cinema at this point in time.
Name one uninteresting film. I don't think there's any.
Spider-Man, Brand New Day.
Oh, okay.
We've done so much in cinema now that it's so hard to present a new concept as something that is genuinely boundary pushing and a new idea, something to explore that hasn't been explored. And this does that.
You're
slagging it off.
You know what this is? It's like they said, can we try and do Close Encounters?
It's nothing like Close
Encounters. If
Encounters.
It was more boring. Without the whimsy. They were like, let's get rid of all the Spielbergian bits and the
Close
whimsy
Encounters
and
is a study of obsession. Is a study of one man's single-minded obsession with a concept. That's essentially what it's about, and then the coming together of science and music as being the heart of humanity and what we're about, you know? That's the themes of that. This is about language and love. Like, it's entirely different. This is not the kind of film like Close Encounters where he would just leave his wife and daughter and never think about them again. You know, like that isn't this film. It doesn't even feel saccharine, but it does. It has a sweetness at its heart. It has a belief in what we can be, and I think it works because of all of those scenes where you see how awful the rest of humanity are. You know, but it doesn't feel like, oh, the power of love or whatever. Like, it's not about that. It's about what we can be if we come together. It's about saying, why don't we stop all of this pointless infighting? Why don't we just think of time differently, think of life differently, think of just like we can look at things differently and we can make a better world.
That's hippie bullshit. It's not gonna work.
No, I don't think it is gonna work. I do not believe in humanity. I think that we're headed off a cliff and that it's too late to change anything. But I think that if you're going to tell a hopeful story or a story, you know, like, this is so bittersweet. You know, the love and the beauty in this film is marred from the very first scene by the knowledge of what will happen. You know, of the knowledge that it's finite, that it will be gone, and that what will be left is pain. You know, but it's worth it for those moments, and I just think it's gorgeous. I think that this is I've said about many things that we've watched on here, you know, oh, it's a human film, or it's got the, you know, it's got a human heart, or whatever, you know, but like this, I think, is the essence of human art and creation, and just like, honestly, Arrival is a film unlike really any other in recent years. You know,
just because of the concept of the communicating with aliens and them sort of.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it comes from the concept, which admittedly is from the book, you know, The Story of Your Life by Ted Chiang. And I've not read the book. My dad has, and I might get him over onto the podcast later to talk about some of the differences, because it does change a few things. But it's not just that. It's a perfect adaptation. Like, the changes it makes that I'm aware of make it work so much better for film, you know? It simplifies some of the concepts in a way that actually make it more emotionally resonant, I think.
I feel like this is surely a Twilight Zone episode. It's like they're trying to elevate sci-fi, and I always have a problem with that, because it's always still going to be a tentacled creature that goes like, however realistic you try and make it, it's not going to be realistic.
But I think that sci-fi at its best isn't about lasers and spaceships. It's
about humans.
Yeah, it's a world that we can create to explore a human concept. And it's like, well, what if this happened? Ergo, we explore that.
No, that's
it's
fine.
Exploring it in a human way.
No, that's fine. I agree. It's just my problem with it is it's so dour, this film. I would have done it like, you know, have you seen the film Threads?
You're saying you want it to be less dour.
But
Threads is not less dour than anything.
But at least it's not grey.
I don't know, man.
At least Threads is shot like a documentary. That makes it feel more realistic. This film is just cinematic, but in an ugly way. It feels pretentious to me.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
You can tell that Villeneuve loves 2001.
Yeah.
From I mean, like, when they first go into the ship, it's them touching the ship, and then the camera pans up, and then it goes into the black, just like the black of the ship. And then the music, there's this incredible sort of... And it's the first time that the music has really made itself known and present, because so much of it is these sort of atmospheric drones that Johan Johansson has sort of crafted using, it was all like 16-track piano loops and stuff, which I don't really understand that. But
where he cut off the attack and stuff like that.
And so it just has this sort of vroom, you know, it's the first time that the music is just completely in your face like that, and you just see this sort of white window, and you don't know... it just does such a good job, I think, this film, of making you feel how it would feel to be like it. You know, it's stressful, it's nerve-wracking, it's, you know, it's kind of exciting, the idea of, wow, we get to meet aliens, but there's also this sort of like, I have no idea what to expect. I have no idea what they're going to look like. I have no idea if, you know, like there is fear and this discomfort in the whole thing. Yeah, and the first music adds so much to that.
The first scene where they go into the ship is done very well.
It is. And I love that it's just they see them, they feel it in their chest, and you do too.
It feels very claustrophobic.
And then it just cuts to them afterwards, and you know, and like Jeremy Renner's puking, and it's like, again, it's just every single element of this is just so human. Like, it's just human reactions, and it's just so... yes, I think it is realistic, and I think that it looking cinematic doesn't detract from that at all.
It does for me. And I don't think... It doesn't feel human enough for me.
In what way?
Just the characters are just all so bland. They all do nothing other than say things that further the plot.
You feel that with Amy Adams as well? With Louise?
She does a great job with the acting, but the lines are just boring.
But I think that she makes them into, like, she projects a character onto them. I mean,
not enough.
Eric Heisserer wrote the screenplay, and it is,
and he's Eric Scheisser.
And it is quite funny looking at his CV, because this kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. I'm not saying that he's a bad screenwriter in any way.
What else has he done?
This proves that he's not. But
I disagree.
He did Final Destination 5. He did The Thing remake. Which I've not seen.
I can see that. I was watching this again. I was thinking, this does remind me of The Thing remake, actually. I'm not even joking.
Really?
Just in terms of like the militariness and the
it's not a remake, it's like a prequel.
Generic dialogue. They both have that. The original Thing doesn't have that problem. It's got good writing for the characters. This film does not have that. The characters are dull.
They are. That is just their purpose. It's very procedural. And I like that element of it. You know, they're in a military environment. That is the way that people would be. That doesn't feel wrong to me. I like that it's like, well, here is how we would react. We would do this, this, and this. And like, it just feels appropriate. And the whole centerpiece, the whole point of the film is so emotionally driven that I don't feel like you need any emotional drama from other points. It would just get messy.
The center point of the film, like, nothing happens until 20 minutes or 15 minutes to the end. All we think is that, her kid died, and every now and again she thinks about it and she's sad.
I don't know. I mean, did you see this in the cinema when it came out?
No.
Honestly, every single time, the first time you see the heptapods, especially, the aliens are called heptapods, I feel exactly what I felt the first time sat in the cinema, and I really genuinely am transported back to that experience watching it in the cinema. And it's still so rare to this day, and it was rare then and is rare now, that you sit in the cinema and you feel like you're experiencing something that you've not experienced before. And Arrival did feel like that to me. Like, it really did. I was just like, wow, I'm not used to this. And this hasn't become common since. It's still an outlier, and it's still...
I disagree. A lot of it feels like I've seen it in other films. I mean, the premise of talking to aliens is the unique thing, I suppose, even though that's Close Encounters. And the whole thing about her sort of going back through her timeline just as Interstellar, that's how it felt to me when I first saw it. They're doing an Interstellar thing, just slightly different. But it's the same vibe, like it's the same sort of time-bending ending to the character, right?
But this works for me 100 times better than Interstellar. I know that you love that film.
I like Interstellar, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
blame me in the comments, whatever. I like it. Sue me. Okay.
I've not seen Interstellar since I saw it, you know, in the cinema at the time, in IMAX. I liked it, you know, but I just remember it being a really entertaining blockbuster. And I thought it was a little saccharine, but really enjoyable. Whereas this feels like Louise's brain is rewired in the film, sort of rewires my brain in a way and makes me think about things in a new way.
What, that we should all love each other? What did it do? What did it make you think?
It's such an interesting concept to think about. Interstellar isn't that interesting a concept to think about. It's just like, and then he goes in a big cosmic bookcase and goes back in time, and like it's more of just a twist and a gotcha sort of thing. Whereas Arrival,
that's how I feel about this film. It's just a twist at the end that makes the whole film.
But it's the basis of what the whole thing is built upon.
And that's that. Yeah, I think we just have to agree to disagree.
No, I need you to change your mind.
Okay, I don't hate the film. I'm talking passionately about it because this is the third time I've watched it. And every time I watch it, I want to like it more than I actually do because everyone raves about it. And I've even sort of tricked myself sometimes into going, yeah, I love that film, yeah. But then I watched it again this time and I was like, you know what? I don't actually love this film. It's fine. It's good. But there's a lot of other sci-fi films that I prefer.
Why don't we discover some of the differences between the film and the book?
Okay.
See if you think that the film sounds better than the book or vice versa. We really should have read the shorts. It's only a short story.
Oh, is it?
Let's get our resident expert in.
Father!
Hello?
Did you see that?
Yeah.
How did you get there?
That's something.
Anyway.
Who are you and why are you here?
Well, I'm just an unreasonably large fan of the movie Arrival.
Yeah.
And a fan of the show as well.
I'm a huge fan of the show, of course.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of your environment as well,
Yes,
which I love very much indeed. I love what you've done in here.
Yes.
Anyway.
Did you see the film first or did you watch the book first?
Well, I saw the film first, absolutely. Yeah. Fell in love with the story.
We watched it together at the cinema.
We did. I've seen it, I don't know how many times, but every single time I think, probably won't cry this time because I do know how it plays out. And then that Max Richter music at the end, and it just plays out, and I just bawl my eyes out. Sometimes laughing while I'm crying at myself, separate, looking at myself, bawling my eyes out. But every single time, it just absolutely destroys me, the beauty of that decision that she makes, and the belief that to love is more important than to lose.
Having the Max Richter on the nature of daylight at the start and end Do you think it kind of cheapens it a little?
Not at all, because the whole point is it's the circle.
No, yeah, I mean, I love that track, and it's just been overused so much since.
Well, that's not the fault of Denis.
No, no. Hey, guy, I've been fighting the rivals corner. You know.
No, I actually thought...
I just think that the soundtrack is incredible, and it wasn't eligible for an Oscar because of the use and the inclusion of On the Nature of Daylight, which I think is completely unfair because the score is incredible.
I agree. I do agree with that. I do think that's completely unfair, and I do think the score's incredible. I think literally every single thing about the movie is perfect. And I actually think the changes they made to the story from the book elevate the story as well. That's not to say the book is really, really fantastic, and the idea and the concept is so great and thought-provoking. But they actually, for once, made it even better. Yeah,
because this is kind of what I wanted to talk about, because I feel like when you're talking about Arrival, it's very easy to talk about what's so great about it. You're just talking about the concept of it, which I presume is all from the book.
Yeah, so it's told in quite a different way. I mean, there's lots of small details, like Ian is Gary in the book. They're not Abbott and Costello. The heptapods there are Raspberry and Flapper.
Abbott and Costello is
so much better. Of course it is. She never goes on the ship. They never go on the ship at each of the landing sites, or not landing, hovering sites. The humans are given a glass screen, and they communicate through the screen. But those are all. There's
a scene in the movie where a couple of rogue soldiers set off a bomb inside the ship.
None of that happens. None of that happens. The military involvement is really incidental. There's no escalation with China. There's no that whole thing. At the end, the heptapods just leave. They just go for their own reasons. It's never made clear that in 3,000 years they need the humans to do something for them, and so they've given them this gift in order to make it happen. But the book is very much about the language and how that enables Louise to see time as one moment.
Yeah.
But to still want to make things happen as they were supposed to happen. I've got a little bit that explains it if you want. So the heptapods are neither free nor bound as we understand these concepts. They don't act according to their will, but nor are they helpless automatons. They act to create the future, to enact chronology. Freedom isn't an illusion. It's perfectly real in the context of sequential consciousness. Within the context of simultaneous consciousness, freedom is not meaningful, but neither is coercion. It's simply a different context, no more or less valid than the other. Knowledge of the future was incompatible with free will. What made it possible for me to exercise freedom of choice also made it impossible for me to know the future. Conversely, now that I know the future, I would never act contrary to that future, including telling others what I know. Those who know the future don't talk about it. Those who've read the Book of Ages never admit to it.
Wow. They really go against that in the film. The whole reason her marriage falls apart is because she tells...
Oh, so she that one moment, but she never does it other than that. Yeah.
Well, General Shang says, I don't pretend to understand how your mind works, and then tells her information that she can then use in the past.
Yeah.
So clearly she has spoken
and that is better. Yeah. I think that's better. Yeah, in the book, you never know Hannah's name. I think it's nice that they made it a palindrome. But because the book is written... to Hannah, so it's only so she's only ever referred to as you. So I do think all of the things that, I mean, obviously the fact that the military involved are, and the big escalation and all that makes it really exciting, and the rush at the end to speak to the general, and all of that it just makes it better. But the book very much focuses on the language. And why changes her consciousness completely.
That's the one interesting aspect of the film to me, is that. So he didn't even...
The one interesting aspect of the film.
Yeah, I just find it a dull film, to be honest.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
It doesn't do anything for me. Maybe if I had a kid, maybe it would. But
I mean, that things do change.
Yeah.
When you
I hate saying it, but I like it. To me, Interstellar affects me a lot more than this.
And that's the opposite decision. He's so obsessed with discovery as a scientist, that he's prepared to give up his daughter, whereas
That.
Louise feels so much love for her daughter that
she's willing to put up with the pain.
That's inevitably going to give her, and that's more inspiring to me. I love Interstellar. It's a great film, but it's that moment of decision when they're sat at the end and Jeremy Renner asks her out, and she knows in that moment, like the film doesn't make it fully clear, but everything has become clear to her at that point. She can see her past. In the book, it always says, "I remember." And it's about something that's going in the future. You know, I remember what you'll feel.
Well, she says, "I forgot how good it feels to be held by you."
Yes, which is a brilliant line. Which is a brilliant line. Which is a really brilliant line. But there's a lot unspoken. I mean, one of the things I love about Arrival is how much it assumes the intelligence of the viewer. I remember that was the first thing I said to you when we came out of the cinema when we first saw it. I just wanted to hug that film because it didn't patronize me and it assumed that I understood it.
That's what I love about Network. I just love a film that's unashamedly intelligent.
Yes. I would heartily recommend anyone who even vaguely likes Arrival to read the book, though, because it helps you to understand a lot of what's going on even more. And then when you go back and watch the film again, you realise how brilliantly faithful it is to the concept and not the details.
What a film.
I can't believe you don't like it.
It's fine.
I love it. Yeah, I just love it.
I wish I felt the same. Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
Hopefully.
Maybe one day.
Well, that was weird. Who was that guy?
Who are you? So anyway, let's just wrap this up then.
Yeah, for sure. Just to hit the basic facts that we usually do, this was made on a budget of, I think, $47 million. It made over $200 million, so it was the last of his commercially successful films until a run of flops.
Wow.
Well, just Blade Runner and Dune, and then Dune 2.
Dune's flopped.
Dune flopped because it was a COVID film. Dune 2 was big hit.
Good, good.
You excited for Dune 3?
I wouldn't say so, but I'll watch it.
Has Arrival made you less excited for Dune 3?
Yeah, it kind of put me off Denis. I was like, do I actually like him? I thought I did. I liked Dune 2 especially. Yeah. I like both of those films. Yeah, I don't know why I'm not excited for it, but I'm not really excited for anything these days, as you can tell. Yeah, I'll definitely watch it in the cinema.
It'll be big.
Yeah, hopefully.
And what more can you ask for from a film?
Yeah,
than bigness. What would you rate this?
7.3. Nah, 7.
I give it a 9+. Loses half a point for being a bit too grey, but honestly, I can't really fault anything else about it.
I think they could have maybe put a couple more years into it, and I think it would have been better.
Why don't you join the discussion? Who's right, who's wrong? If
Insult
anyone is
me,
anything.
go on. I don't care. I can take it.
We're just really digging those insulting comments at the moment. I had such fun with the Spider-Man one, so please slag us off,
please.
But until next week, when we talk about the Lemon Twigs Do Hollywood, great album. And I think going to be a very fun discussion, probably slightly different. Follow us on the socials, do all of the stuff. Subscribe.
Just have a great week.
Give us a like. Please give us a like. Man, we crave those likes. I wake up every morning yearning for a like.
Yeah. What about a comment?
I'd love a comment, but I don't want to ask too much of you.
And a share. You don't have to. If you want.
Maybe. Yeah. All right. See you guys.
Bye. Have a nice weekend.